Hello developers, welcome back to my third video. So in this video, I'll be explaining about the MCP server and why it is so important. And MCP server I'll be creating in my local with the help of Spring AI and Java 20. So please be connected and we'll go to each and every modules. So let's start with an basic example to understand MCP server or MCP as a whole. So let's say, for example, this is a person. Let's say, example, you are the person, and then you wants to go to office. Now, to enter the office premises, you need access card. Otherwise, your security guard or it will not be allowed, right? Or let's example if you want to go to your friend's society, so the security guard will stop you and the security guard will basically take your details and then share with your friends and they will allow you. And for example, one more example is, let's say, bank. So if you want to withdraw some money from the bank, you need a ATM, right? Or let's say debit card or a credit card. Now, in this example, one thing is very common is you. So this person is very common, and then you have different protocols are there. Let's say for withdrawing some money, you need a credit card. Let's say to enter into society, you need some access. Let's say MyGate or Apna Complex or some security guard. Let's say to enter into the office, you need access card. So that is a protocol they have. Now these are the, let's say for example, these are the offices, nothing but the different servers. I'll take I'll go to the next slide so that you can understand more. So I'll just replace you alone with the AI, and I have different security guards, ATMs, and all these things. I just replace with some code, and these are nothing but different. Let's say the Google is there, Oracle database, so different servers are there. Now, basically, and uh, in previous word videos when I explained, right? So I used to give commands to the AI, and basically it does perform the all the search and everything from its own knowledge base. Now, if I give some command, right, can you create a folder or can you drop an email? It cannot do that, or unless and until I write a different code for each of them, which I am explaining over here. Let's say, for example, if I want to drop an email, right? So I have to write a different code and then I have to maintain that code in my local system, right? And in future, any update comes in the Gmail or let's say anywhere, right? I have to go ahead and update all these modules and everything, bro. So that is too much of bottleneck is there. Same thing will go with the Oracle or let's say if I file so local file system also. So all these codes I have to maintain. Now, how to so we need a solution actually which can solve these things, and then there will be very simple way, right? They'll just give one some configurations, right, and which you can update in your spring boot project, and it will work like anything, like a magic. So that is what the your our mcp. So mcp, it's a model context protocol. So what is model context protocol? So now I have a model. Now to interact this model with different servers, let's say the Gmail or different vendors, so it needs some kind of interface. That interfaces are nothing but the MCP clients, these interfaces. Now these interfaces will be inside the MCP host, and this MCP servers will be hosted outside. I'll show an example, live example, where I am hosting a MCP server, and there is a MCP host is also there. Along with that MCP client I am configuring in my Spring Boot project. So that in that example you'll understand how the protocols and everything we are setting up, right? So the model, then the context is nothing but what I am telling the AI model to do it, and the protocol is nothing but it's some set of rules that are governing, let's say if I'm defining some kind of clients, I have to give some kind of protocols. So it protocol, for example, in HTTP request we have protocol, the status must be 200 if it is success, right? So if it is unauthorized, let's say those kind of 401, that kind of status codes. So these are the standard protocols, so and everyone has to follow that. So those are the the protocols. Or let's say for example our army, right? For example Indian army, right? So they have some kind of protocols, so they have to follow those protocols. So this is the MCP, the company, right, which came up with this MCP. They have some certain protocols, so everyone has to follow that protocol. So in other words, right, the MCP as a whole, the ecosystem. So if I have a AI model and if it wants to connect to different servers, right, so it has to go through by one client or one or more client actually. So this is nothing but showing in this picture. Now let's go to the demo portion of it. So if you have seen my the old videos where I have shown you how we are configuring you know the Olama and everything. So I hope those videos you have gone through it. So with the assumption that you have already set up those in your local, you- I'll be go to the demo section of it. If haven't you watched those videos, you can go ahead and watch those videos and come back here and watch or continue this video. Okay, so MCP, right? So for the MCP, so I have already downloaded two projects with the interest of time. So now this is a the Gradle project I have created. You can you know create a Maven project. So in the Gradle project, these are the dependencies I am adding. So for this, I need so you can go and add the MCP server. So this is the most important, the MCP server. So you can go to our Spring Initializer and add this dependency, and then you can download the project. And what you can do, so that is so what you can do, you can come to yeah, so what you can do, you can write one class, and in that class, this is very important, the tool. So if this is tool is nothing but when I say I am registering actually. So this is nothing but I am telling my MCP server, hey, if somebody call my MCP server, it can these are the tools. So I can have n number of tools. Let's say I can give one more tool. So let's say if I give one more tool, so basically whenever this MCP server will be exposed to the world, so they can interact with this tool. So in basically I have this description. So it can read the command. So from the AI I'll be giving the command, and it will read the command, and once I'll register this, it can read my description, and then it will execute this method. I can give the example, if you once I go to the client, it will be more easy for you. So this is my MCP server. Just now you just assume that some description is there, and it will read from the description and execute this, the function or this method. Now let's go to MCP client. So in the MCP client, in the build Gradle, if I open it, so you need the MCP client dependency over here. So you need MCP client, and I'll be using Olama. So I have added the Olama dependency and the Spring AI dependency. So all these things, once you are done, right, then you can go to the application YML file. Now, before we go to deep into the application YML file, you make sure that so your Olama is up and running. So I'll just copy this, and then I'll go to my browser, and I'll just press this. So my Olama is running, which is good. Now, so Olama, I'll be using Mistral as my model. I tried with DeepSeek and all these DeepSeek and other models. I found that Mistral is good, and it is it's working fine. And DeepSeek version of both 7B and 1.5B, it's not working. So maybe the latest version it might work, but for me it's not working for the MCP server and client. Now, to register this as MCP client, I have to make sure that all the toolback is enabled, so that the tool, whatever the tools I have defined in the MCP server, it can consume that. And I am registering my MCP server. So I am registering my MCP server. So this is nothing but I am running my server in 81. So if I go to port here, so this is the port I am running, right? And this is nothing but my MCP server. So I am running in my local host. So that is what I'm registering here. Now, if I go a little bit down, so as I, the MCP, now the MCP client and MCP server, how they will communicate. So there are two ways it can communicate with each other. One is STDIO, and there is one more SSE. So STDIO, it basically, it's so if I want to run some commands in locally, the STDIO will be used. And if I if I want to call an API, let's say for example SSE will be used. So I have shown over here, right? So this is my this is my local host, it's running. So that's the reason it's using the internet protocol. So it's using the SSE. And as I said, right, STDIO. So I'll be running this command. You can see here this command. So it will be running using the npx command. So that's the reason the stdio will be used. Now I'll go back to this in a while, but let me explain a little bit more about from the controller side. So this is my API which I have written, and this API has an this service. So this is nothing but it's very simple actually. So if I go here, I am just using this prompt and I am using the client. So now in this client I have to register my, I'm sorry. So in this client, so in this, so I have to create this client bean. So this is my client bean, right? So in this client bean, basically I have to pass my tool callback, so that whatever the MCP server I have registered, it should listen to that, right? So this is all about the configurations. So I'll show, I'll ask some questions to this, to create some folders and everything. So you'll see that it will seamlessly, it will create those. Yeah. So there might be a question, right? How I am getting those values, from where I'm getting those values, right? So to answer the question, right? So if we can go to our MCP. So there is, this MCP GitHub. We can go here, and let's say, for example, I am calling the file system. So if I go to file system, and if I come down below here, yeah. So this is nothing but my npx command. So in this case, right, this is my command. Now, to run this command, this is very important. To run this command, I need to run this npx. And npx is nothing but it's a node module, right, which can be run from the remote. So for that, you have to install the node.js. So in my system, node.js is already there. So if I search here, node.js, it's already there. So what you can do, you can come over here and then you can install the node.js for Windows, or let's say, Mac, right? So, and also let's say, for example, if you want to browse something, right? So for the browsing, what you can do, you can use the Brave search. So this Brave search, you can go and create a key, but in my case, I'll not be creating any key. So what I mean actually, you might have seen, let's say if you face some errors, you can ask the AI and it will go and search the latest content from the Google. So how it does that? It uses the Brave search, or let's say it uses something called, let's say you want to search from the Slag. So you can go to Slag also. So, and in the Slag, these are the MCP servers. So this is already predefined servers. So you don't need to write any code for this. So this is the beauty of this. So so connect to the Slag, you don't need to do anything. You just copy paste this MCP client, the MCP client, and then it will start working like anything. So this is so easy actually. Yeah. So yeah. So let's go back to my code once again, and then we'll run the our MCP client. I'll show you how it's working. So let me start my service. Oops, it failed. Connection null. Oh, okay, 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 okay. I think the host is not running. That's the reason. Connection is okay. Go to here. Okay, let's run this guy first. Yeah. So host is, sorry, the server is running now. So and if I go here, you can see here Tomcat server. Yeah, it's running on 8081 port. And okay, good, 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 good. It is running now. So now let me go here and then let me run now. I hope it will not give any issues now. Okay, it's running now. Yeah, I think it got connected. You can see here, right? So MCP client demo, it's connected, and you can see in the logs also that this is the server log. So in the server log, you can see here it got connected, and you can see here this is the MCP client experiment. Yeah. So you can see here MCP, yeah, MCP client, it got connected. So, and again, if I go to right hand side, you can see here, this is my MCP client. So I can, so this is the allowed directories and all these things, right? So I have two kinds of, code is there. One is stdio and ssc. So let's do one thing. Let's go to our postman and let's ask some questions to our you know create. Okay, let before I go here, right, let me go to client, and I'll be creating inside my MCP client. MCP client. So what I'll do, I'll create one. Is there any? Okay, there is not no folder called Mrigang. So what I'll do, I'll tell this guy to create a folder Mrigang Pandit, and store data. So let's see whether it will create folder name Mrigang Pandit. Okay, let me send this. So I think it will take some time. Let me pause my video. Okay, I got the response after 5 minutes. It's quite long. Okay, we can go to the folder and check if it got created with the folder name with my name. So let's see if anything called. Okay, yeah, I can see here it got created with my name, and I can see the data is also there. So let's open this into. Let's open this guy. So hello demo MCP client. So which is working quite good. So that's how. So this is how you can do it, right? So or let's say for example, I have this MCP server, so I can interact with my MCP server also. So I have this tool, and inside the tool I have written my own description. So this is my description, so I can ask the question, and then it should work as well. So I can ask question, can you get the details of Mrigang? So it can understand from the description and it can send. I don't want to go there because it's almost like 17 minutes. So I should stop here. And so the key points are basically the MCP host, MCP client, and MCP server. So MCP host is nothing but which is uh, the name I have given as client here. So this entire thing is called as host. And inside the host, I have this MCP client. You can see here MCP clients I have configured. And in this MCP client, I can define my own MCP servers here, and then my own on my sorry external um, the MCP server as well. I can give here for the Brave search as well, but for this, right, I need let's say I need the API keys. So you can buy this API key by registering their into their application, and then you can get the key, and then once you run some command, let's say from the Google, it can search easily. Yeah, that's all about this video. If you like this video, please do subscribe and like this video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.